Today we are going to solve Cambridge Primary Checkpoint, Paper 2, October 2019. Question number 1. Chen writes some sentences about forces. يبقى هنا sentences about forces. Only one sentence is correct and we have to take the correct sentence. يبقى we have to choose only one sentence. Force is also called mass. Wrong. Force is measured in kilograms. لا. This is the unit to measure mass, and force is measured in Newton. Force is measured in meter. Wrong. Forces do not stop objects moving. Wrong. Forces have direction. That's correct. This is the correct answer. Next question. Chen goes skateboarding. Chen goes skateboarding and there is friction between the ground and the wheels. Describe how he can increase the friction between the ground and the wheels. I need to increase the friction. So, in other words, I need a rough surface. يبقى he can move to a place that has a rough surface, or he can use rougher wheels. يبقى الويلز ما تبقاش that smooth. يبقى the answer is he can move to a place that has a rough surface, or he يعني لو كتبنا دي بس enough. لو حد تاني كتب he can use rougher wheels برضو دي صح، بس هنا we need only one answer. يعني لو كتبنا بس he can move to a place where the surface is rough يبقى enough. نندي out of one mark. Next question number 2. Electrical cables contain wires. السؤال ده بيجي كتير. A and B are made of plastic. يبقى A ده و B are made of plastic. Why are they made of plastic? We said it before. You should include here a keyword to get the full mark. احنا قلنا الwire should be covered by plastic لأن البلاستيك ايه؟ Great. Plastic is an insulator. يبقى the answer is because plastic is an insulator. C is a wire. C is a wire. يبقى هنا ده الwire. خليه بالرد. ده الwire. Write down the name of the material used to make C. ايه هو الماتيريال used to make C؟ ممكن حد يقول it's a metal. To be more specific الماتيريال دي هو الcopper. ولو حد كتب برضو metal it's considered correct. ليه copper أو ليه metal؟ لأن الميتالز are good conductors of electricity. That's why it should be covered with plastic to act as an insulator عشان to prevent damage من electric shock. Next question. Here are some properties of four substances. Substance A, B, C, D. عندي four substances A, B, C, and D. وهنا عندي does it rust? Does it dissolve in water? Is it poisonous? Is it strong? So on. Question A. Buckets are used to carry water. Okay, bucket to carry water. Which material could not, نخلي بالنا, it's written here, could not be used to make a bucket. Choose from A, B, C, أو D. I need to make a bucket to carry water. طيب يبقى هنا it will carry water. طيب نبص هنا للproperties. عندي bucket D dissolves in water. هل هقدر أعمل bucket that carries water that dissolves in water؟ لأ. يبقى which material could not be used؟ هو D. Okay. لأن the other A, B, and C they do not dissolve in water. explain your answer. الاكسبلانيشن هتبقى ايه؟ لأن this material because هنقول إن substance D dissolve in water يبقى كده كملنا الإجابة. This is out of 2 marks. يبقى 1 mark here and 1 mark here. طيب. Next question. Substance A is used to make cars. Explain why. نبص كده على substance A. إيه اللي بيميز substance A that it could be used to make cars؟ هنا إيه هي ال property؟ Is it strong? Yes. يبقى I need something that is strong to make cars. يبقى إيه هي ال property اللي نخلينا نستخدم substance A to make cars؟ Because it is strong. Because it is strong. Next question. A mirror ball is shiny. It's made of many small mirrors. يبقى هنا كل part هنا this is actually a small mirror. Complete the sentences. Light hits the surface of the mirror ball. The light is then. What do mirrors do to the light when it hits the mirror? Great. It's reflected. The light is then reflected. طيب. The light changes what? The light changes direction. Change direction. We see the light because it enters our eyes. يبقى this is the process by which we can see. And light is reflected, change direction, then it enters our eyes. That's why we can see the objects. Next question. Some animals have internal skeletons. الskeleton بتبقى internal. Some animals do not have internal skeletons. Look at the pictures of different animals. Then the question is complete the table to sort them into groups. وعندي هنا have an internal skeleton, do not have an internal skeleton. طيب احنا عندنا هنا السنيك, snail, fish, locust, worm, and bat. طيب مين هنا عنده internal skeleton؟ Great, snake. مين تاني؟ الفيش عندها internal skeleton. ايه كمان؟ البات عنده internal skeleton. يبقى عندي السنيك والفيش والبات. طيب which animals do not have an internal skeleton? Already the locust is written for you. نخليها ب different color. عندي locust already written. عندي ايه تاني؟ الworm وعندي السنيل. Okay. Next question. Pierre is sorting metals in a recycling yard. يبقى هنا sorting metals. He is using a magnet to help him. Which objects will be attracted towards the magnet? Circle the correct answers. يبقى هنا عندي I need answers. يبقى more than one. وعايزين نعمل له circle. طيب. Sorting metals using a magnet يبقى الميتال دي should be magnetic. يعني attracted to the magnet. تعالوا نشوف كل واحدة. عندي brass لا. Copper no. Gold not magnetic. Iron صح. Iron is magnetic. Lead لا, it's not magnetic. Silver is not magnetic. Steel yes, it's magnetic. Zinc no, it's not magnetic. يبقى هنا الإجابتين الصح الأيرون والستيل لأن both are magnetic. Next question. Some plants have flowers. Look at the picture of the flower. دي الفلاور. The flower has male parts and female parts. Label a male part of the flower with the letter M. label a female part of the flower with the letter F. هنا لو بصينا للفلاور فين الميل بارت والفيميل بارت، عايزين نعمل ليبل للميل بارت بام. هو ده الميل بارت، ده الميل بارت اللي هو الايه الستيمن اللي بيتكون من الانثر والفيلمنت. يبقى احنا ممكن نعمل هنا labeling دي ام. طيب label a female part، اي female part بالletter F. احنا الفيميل اورجن كله اللي هو البيستل، عندي الستيجما وعندي الستايل وعندي الاوفري والاوفيول. اوكي، يبقى ممكن نعمل هنا وهنا يبقى F، ده الستايل. Complete the sentences. The male organ of the flower اسمه ايه؟ والفيميل organ of the flower is called what؟ الميل organ اللي هو الستيمن، اللي هو عبارة عن الانثر والفيلمنت. طيب الفيميل organ اللي هو البيستل that consists of عندي الستيجما والستايل والأوفري والأوفيول. اوكي، يبقى هي دي الإجابة. لو عايزين نراجعها مع بعض، عندي الجزء ده هو الأنثر ودي الفيلمنت بتاعت الميل بورت. الفيميل بورت بقى عندي الستيجما وعندي الستايل وعندي الأوفري وبعدين عندي الأوفيول. يبقى ده الميل بارت وده الفيميل بارت of the flower. Next question. The table shows the properties of some substance, and here are some properties. عندي chalk, copper sulfate, gasoline, iron sulfate, magnesium sulfate. State at room temperature, solid أو liquid أو gas. الcolor بتاعهم and soluble in water, yes or no. Which substances are insoluble in water? What does the word insoluble mean? Insoluble يعني doesn't dissolve in water. يبقى نبص على هنا solubility in water. مين اللي do not dissolve in water؟ مين اللي مش soluble؟ عندي chalk وعندي الجازولين. يبقى answer is chalk and gasoline. Next question. Lily wants to separate a mixture of copper sulfate and iron sulfate. She adds water to the mixture and stirs it thoroughly. She then filters this mixture. Explain why this mixture is not separated. نفهم الأول. عندي ليلي عندها mixture كده من حاجتين مع بعض. عندي copper sulfate وعندي iron sulfate. She adds water. طيب هنا هي استخدمت ايه to separate them؟ She adds water. نبص كده على solubility in water. ده الكوبر سلفيت عندي هنا وعندي الايرون سلفيت، الاتنين soluble in water. يبقى both are soluble in water. يبقى ازاي she will separate؟ يبقى if she adds water الاتنين they will dissolve. طيب she filters the mixture. طبعا لو عملت filtering the mixture مفيش حاجة هتستنى على الفلتر paper لأن كله soluble. يبقى why this mixture is not separated؟ ليه؟ Because both substances are soluble in water. Because both substances are soluble in water. الاتنين بيدوبوا في المية. Next question. Lily mixes gasoline and water. يبقى عندي هنا mixture من الwater والgasoline. Suggest what she sees. لو حطينا water مع gasoline ايه اللي هيحصل؟ اوكي، لو ده mixture من الwater والgasoline هيحصل ايه؟ We know that the gasoline is less dense and it will float on the top of water. and actually gasoline does not dissolve in water. يبقى هيحصل إن الشكل هيبقى كالآتي، عندي هيبقى كده on the top you will find the gasoline وهنا هتبقى الووتر. يبقى ده هيبقى الجازولين ودي هنا الووتر. يبقى what she sees, the gasoline will float on the top of water. Okay, because actually it doesn't dissolve in water and it is less dense. Next question. Mia and Sophia are carrying out an investigation. They use a mask attached to a ring. يبقى عندي ميا وصفية are doing an investigation وفي عندنا هنا mass attached to a string. Before Mia starts the investigation, she says, if I put the mass further towards me, it will take a longer time to swing to Sophia. يبقى بتبدأ الانفستيجيشن بتاعتها بسنتنس هي قالتها كده. طيب what type of statement is this؟ السنتنس اللي بنقولها في بداية الانفستيجيشن اسمها ايه؟ هل هي conclusion ولا data ولا evidence ولا prediction ولا result؟ أنا لسه بعمل ايه؟ She is predicting what might happen. It might be true or false. يبقى ده prediction. If I pull the mass further towards me, it will take a longer time to swing to Sophia. يبقى ده prediction. Okay. Next question. What measuring apparatus will they need to test this? إيه هو apparatus اللي هيستخدموه؟ Tick the correct two answers. يبقى عندي two answers. نبص هنا هم هيستخدموا إيه؟ هم عندهم هنا they are doing what؟ عندي هنا إيه؟ عندي الانفستيجيشن في mass attached للstring وعندي هنا distance. اوكي طيب يبقى هنا ايه هي الاباريتس اللي هم هيستخدموه؟ اول حاجة عندي distance يبقى هستخدم ايه؟ نبص كده رولر. يبقى رولر دي واحدة من الاجابات. طب what will be the next one؟ هنا البريدكشن كان بتاعها ايه؟ If I pull the mass further يبقى أنا بقيس ال distance. It will take a longer time يبقى أنا بقيس ال time. يبقى أنا عايزة حاجة to measure the distance وحاجة to measure the time. إيه هو اللي بستخدمه to measure the time هنا؟ Great, stop clock. يبقى هنا these are the two answers. Mia and Sophia want the investigation to be a fair test. عايزة التست to be a fair test. طب يقدروا يعملوا إيه؟ Write down one factor they keep the same. تعالوا نشوف كده تاني investigation. What factor should be kept the same to give a fair result؟ هم هنا بيقيسوا ال distance ويشوفوا ال time. It will take longer time يعني هنقيس ال distance and time. طيب إيه هنا should be kept constant؟ Great. ال type of the mass يعني أستخدم نفس الماس هنا. هنا نفس الماس هو اللي أستخدمه عشان to make it a fair test. What else؟ عندي هنا مثلا string ممكن نقول ال thickness of the string أو the size of the string should be the same. Okay أو the length of the string. يبقى عندي هنا many factors could be kept the same. نختار أي واحد فيهم ونكتبهم. أنا ممكن أكتب مثلا ال type of mass اللي هيعلقوه. حد تاني ممكن يكتب ال length of the string. length of the string. اوكي او ممكن ال thickness of the string. كلهم correct بس هو طالب مني حاجة واحدة بس ال one factor و it's out of one mark. Next question. A key is used to identify different butterflies. عندي هنا عايزة أعمل classification للbutterflies فعندي key. Use the key to find out the name of the butterfly A and the name of butterfly B. يبقى عندي butterfly A, butterfly B. نبص كده على كل key. Is the butterfly one color? Yes. Go to question 2. No. Go to question number 3. يبقى is the butterfly one color? Yes or no? لا, it's no. يبقى هنروح ل question 3. طيب. Do the wings have dark lines on them and have white areas on the top wings? هل أنا عندي dark lines on them? Okay. لو عندي dark lines, yes, يبقى أنا إيه؟ يبقى أنا المونarch butterfly. Okay. اللي هي إيه المونarch butterfly؟ اللي عندها dark lines on them والwhite areas on the top wings. يبقى كده أنا كده عرفت B هي الإيه؟ المونarch butterfly. طيب. If no, go to question 4. Question 4 بيقول إيه؟ Are the bottom wings smooth along the edge? نبص كده. bottom wings smooth along the edge. bottom wings smooth ولا لأ؟ لأ. No. لو no يبقى swallow tail butterfly. يبقى butterfly A هي swallow tail butterfly. سؤال سهل جدا. swallow tail butterfly. و butterfly B قلنا monarch butterfly. Next question. Jamila dissolves salt in water to make salt water. The water in Jamila's experiment is a solvent. The water is a solvent. What's the meaning of the word solvent? الwater is a solvent. يعني ايه solvent? solvent اللي هي ايه؟ Great. هي liquid that can dissolve a substance. يبقى the solvent is the liquid that can dissolve a substance. Salt is a soluble substance. What's the meaning of the word soluble? Soluble يعني ايه؟ Salt is a soluble substance. Soluble بيدوب. يعني ايه بيدوب؟ يعني it's a substance that can dissolve in a liquid أو solvent. يبقى soluble يعني ايه soluble؟ يعني means it can dissolve in a liquid أو solvent يعني. Okay? Salt water is an example of a solution. What's the meaning of the word solution? Solution يعني ايه؟ Solution يعني عندي a liquid, okay, اللي هو solvent and a dissolved substance اللي هي الايه؟ solute. يبقى solution it means a liquid اللي هو solvent and a dissolved substance اللي هي solute. يبقى عندي solvent والsolute هم دول اللي بيكونوا solution. Next question. Chan finds information about different planets. He writes down the time it takes for each planet to spin once. Okay, time in Earth hours. Time هنا to spin once. عندي planets A to E. Which planet takes the least number of hours to spin once? أقل وقت. مين هياخد أقل وقت هنا؟ Great. B. Planet B. One of the planets is Earth. Which planet is Earth? هنعرف ازاي. احنا عندنا planet Earth بياخد how many hours to spin once. We know it is a 24 hours. يبقى A هو الأرث. يبقى الأنسر in مين الأرث A. How many planets take longer to spin once than planet C؟ عندي هنا planet C. مين البلانيتس اللي بياخدوا longer time to spin than planet C؟ Great. اللي هم D و E. يبقى عندي how many planets هم 2. Next question. Look at the picture of the Earth. Part of the Earth is labeled X. Part of the Earth is labeled Y. Describe what is like at part X and Y. At X it's A. الحتة هنا الديفرنس هنا A. هنا light colored الاريا دي وهنا dark colored. يبقى نعرف من كده ايه ان في day and night. مين day؟ X. يبقى X it is day time. Y it's night. Okay. Next question. The picture shows a poppy plant. The picture shows seeds being dispersed. سؤال الseed dispersion ده بيجي كتير قوي. What type of seed dispersal does the poppy plant use? Circle one correct answer. من الشكل كده حصل ايه هنا؟ لكن حصل هنا ايه؟ حصل انفجار، صح؟ يبقى عندي هنا حصل ايه للسيدز؟ هنا حصل explosion. من الشكل يبقى self dispersal by explosion. Okay. Next question. The seed is dry. This helps it to be dispersed. Write down one other property of the seed that helps it to be dispersed. ايه حاجات الفاكتورز اللي بتساعد seeds to be dispersed؟ Seeds actually are lightweight. They are small. They are smooth. يبقى كل دي properties للseed تخلي dispersion بتاعها سهل. يبقى one other property احنا عايزين واحدة بس، ممكن نكتب lightweight دي property. ممكن حد تاني يكتب small. ممكن حد يكتب smooth. يبقى all these are correct, but if you wrote one it's enough. Next question. Oliver makes a table of the body temperature of living animals. عندي الانيمال هنا والbody temperature. Oliver says the biggest animals have the highest body temperature. He is not correct. Use the information in the table to explain why he is not correct. نبص هنا الأول. عندي الانيمال وعندي البودي temperature. هو قال كل ما كان the animal the biggest عنده the highest temperature. طب نبص كده للريزلت. احنا لقينا التشيكن التمبريتشر بتاعتها ايه؟ 40. عندي مثلا الويل 36. عندي الهيومن 37. البابون 38. يبقى هل هنا the biggest animal هو ال highest temperature؟ لا، he is not correct. يبقى نقول ليه؟ ان عندي مثلا ال comparison هنا of the size and the whale is the biggest مثلا, and it doesn't have the highest temperature, while the chicken is not the smallest and it has the highest temperature. يبقى ممكن نقول أي من ال answers وده بيبقى considered correct. Okay. يبقى هنا use the information to explain why he is not correct. It's out of 2 marks, يعني you should include 2 points. ممكن نقول إيه؟ هنقول in comparison of the temperature. هو قال إيه؟ التابل هنا عندي the whale doesn't have the highest body temperature. The highest body temperature. And it's the biggest. It is the biggest. Okay. وممكن نقول برضو من التيبل لقينا in the chicken has the highest body temperature. وبرضو ممكن نقول إن the mouse doesn't have the lowest body temperature and it is the smallest and it is the smallest. اوكي يبقى نختار اي two answers من دول ونكتبهم يبقى it's considered correct. نبص للتيبل بسيطة جدا to get the information from the table. إن لقينا هنا ال whale actually is the biggest لكن it doesn't have the highest temperature. Well, chicken is not the biggest بس عندها the highest temperature. When the mouse is the smallest one and it doesn't have the lowest temperature. Next question. Sophia investigates friction. She lets a car roll down a slope. ده تاني سؤال على friction في الإكزام. She measures the time it takes for the car to reach the floor. يبقى هنا عندي investigation للfriction واستخدمت slope وعندي هنا الكار والفلور وحطت بوكس علشان نعمل السلوب. Sophia changed the material on the slope. Okay. Here are the results. لو صفية استخدمت بلاستيك التايم in الكار to reach the floor لقيناها 2.2 seconds. Wood, paper, cord and wool. يبقى عندي هنا different timings عشان استخدمت different materials. Complete the sentences about her results. The material that made the car moves the slowest. عندي الكار هنا moved the slowest. Moved the slowest يبقى خدت ايه؟ أكتر وقت. slowest يبقى خدت أكتر وقت. مين هنا خدت أكتر وقت؟ هنا الوول خدت 3.1 seconds. يبقى عندي الماتيريال هي الوول لأن لو حطت هنا الوول يبقى عندي إيه؟ more friction يعني more time for the car to reach the floor. This is because this material is إيه؟ الماتيريال ده عنده إيه؟ عنده high friction. يبقى this is because this material causes the most أو the highest A friction. Great. Next question. This is a question about the food chains. نفتكر مع بعض يعني ايه الفود chain. الفود chain هي كانت feeding relationship. Feeding relationship. Complete the sentences. Food chain start with زي مثلا grass اللي هو plant. Producer. Great. The energy for food chains comes from main source of energy جايلي منين؟ لأن food chain هي feeding relationship وهي showing us energy flow برضو. طب الانرجي مصدرها منين في الأول؟ عندي producer اللي هو plant خد الانرجي منين؟ Great, from the sun. producer استخدم sun علشان يعمل أول energy. Look at the information. Foxes eat rabbits. Rabbits eat lettuce. Wolves eat foxes. Write a food chain using the information. نبدأ بمين هنا البروديوسر بتاعنا اللاتس. سهم arrow. Lettuce eaten by rabbits. Rabbits eaten by foxes. Foxes eaten by wolves. يبقى دي الفود chain بتاعتنا. Make sure the direction of the arrows Okay, this is very important. Next question. Jamila lives near to the sea. She collects some seawater and measures the volume of seawater. يبقى جميلة collects some seawater. جميلة pours the seawater into a dish. يبقى عندي dish حطت فيه seawater. She leaves the dish in the sun until the dish only contains a white solid. حصل إيه؟ She measures the mass of the white solid. ثبته في الصن. بعد كده لقينا إيه اللي حصل؟ أنا عندي هنا seawater. بعد كده هي لقت هنا إيه؟ لقت white solid. Jamila repeats the experiment using different volumes of seawater. Which piece of equipment does Jamila use to measure the mass of the white solid? ايه هو equipment بستخدم له الماس واحنا مغمضين عارفين هو الايه البالانس. Next question. A white solid appears after leaving the dish of seawater in the sun. Explain why. ايه هو الوايت solid او ايه اللي حصل؟ انا عندي هنا seawater. الseawater دي عبارة عن الووتر وسولت صح؟ طيب after being exposed to the sun حصل ايه؟ حصل evaporation للwater and what's left behind الوايت solid ده اللي هو السولت. يبقى if we need to explain ايه اللي حصل بنقول water evaporates. حصل ايه يعني evaporates؟ يعني turns into water vapor. Step 2 حصل ايه؟ Then leaves the solid behind. اللي هو ايه السوليد ده؟ اللي هو السولت. يبقى water evaporates leaving the salt behind. يبقى هنا كتبت ال 2 points بتوعي. طيب here is a graph of Jamila's result. عندي ال volume of seawater وال mass of white solid in grams. كل ما الفوليوم بيزيد أكيد الماس بيزيد لأن عندي more seawater يعني more solid. What's the mass of white solid in 25 cubic centimeter of seawater؟ طالب مني هنا إيه؟ عايز يعرف الماس للوايت solid in 25 cubic centimeter. يبقى احنا نروح عند ال 25 ونطلع نشوف الماس قد ايه. عندي هنا ده 20 وهنا 30 يبقى في النص هنا الايه ال 25 23 24 25 يبقى في النص هنا عندي ال 25. طيب نطلع فوق بقى نشوف كده تقريبا هيبقى هنا ايه دي الفاليو اللي احنا عايزينها. هنا عندي 4 وعندي ايه 6 يبقى في النص هيبقى تقريبا ايه ال 5. اوكي يبقى الانسر بتاعي هيبقى 5 جرامز. لو حد تاني كتب مثلا 4.8 او لغاية مثلا 5.2 this will be considered correct. اوكي ناخد بالنا من الجرافس نتدرب عليها كويس لان في الغالب لازم يجي جراف يقول لك find the value أو complete the graph. Next question. Mike makes a bell using a pot and a mallet. ده آخر سؤال في الإكزام. يبقى هنا مايك عمل بell استخدم pot واستخدم إيه mallet. المالت دي حاجة زي الهامر كده زي مطرقة بيخبط بيها عشان تعمل صوت. He hits the pot with the mallet. The bell makes a quiet sound. Describe one way he can increase the volume of sound made by the bell. هنا ال sound produced is a quiet sound. طب هو عايز increase the volume يعمل إيه؟ He can do what? He can actually change the material of the pot. أو he can hit harder يعني use more force. يبقى عندي كذا answer. He can do what? he can change the material of the pot. Change the material of the pot. ممكن حد تاني يكتب ايه hit harder. Hit it harder. أو in other words يعني use more force. كل دي إجابات صح. But we have to choose only one and write it down. Next question. Mike wants to measure the volume of the sound. Which instrument measure the volume of the sound? مهم أوي سؤال الانstrument. Circle the correct answer. To measure the volume of the sound احنا عارفين احنا بنستخدم ايه؟ Great. الساوند level meter. يبقى الساوند level meter ده instrument used to measure the volume of the sound. Okay, وبكده نكون خلصنا الإكزام. Thank you so much.